Greetings. It is us. It is we. We are here. It's another month. Yeah, that was exciting, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, because there's so much news and stuff to talk about this
God,
month.
it's terrible.
I mean, I'll be honest, I'm pretty excited for the first article. Like, not a whole lot of pictures that we get. As a matter of fact, only one.
Well, I
But,
suppose
first
we're,
image. Okay, never mind. I didn't read the fucking headline. Yeah, very slow week though. Very slow
it's
week.
been scraping the barrel. We've had to resort to bloody disgusting. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, right. They once used to be good.
No, it's just become. Yeah. And I think they've sacked a load of people because it's only the chief editor seems to be making most of the posts.
Yeah, probably. I mean, fuck.
That's happening across the board, though. Online news sites are dying, like on their arse.
Mm-hmm.
It's just happening abroad. Google's tightening its belt because it's not getting the revenue, so it's actually pushing anything that's not directly Google sponsored or Google owned is getting shoved to the bottom of their algorithms, like a strange self-preservation thing.
Makes sense, I guess.
Well, it does, I suppose, from a business aspect. But it's almost like we're reverting back. I think the days of the Wild West of the internet is getting slowly strangled, where it's basically you can't afford to exist unless you've got a huge corporation behind you paying you money.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Swings and roundabouts always happen, then something else will pop up, and the whole cycle will start all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Never changes. I can't get excited about stuff, general news and pop culture, because it's all been done before. It'll all be done again. It just goes round in circles, and it's the same people that wear a different badge and they complain about the same things, and over and over and over and over again. Just goes round and round.
Pretty much. Well, and it's always hard with, I mean, most fucking news articles. It's like until a movie is out in theaters and I'm going to see it, I don't believe a fucking thing.
Mm. Oh,
like it's been done before where, like with this first article, we get, images from a movie and they hype it up and then last second they're like, no, we're not going to release it.
Evening shade or afternoon shade, morning shade,
wherever the fuck you are.
Yeah. All time zones, so wherever we are, we cross the time continuum in this show.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a nosy. First look at Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein takes you inside Frankenstein's lab.
That looks great.
It's looking good. I love the fact we're seeing the camera, the actual camera angle, arms and all as well. But yeah, it's looking good. It's got that sort of gothic look. Not quite steampunk. What was pre-steampunk when they did it with Clockwork? Do you know that kind of vibe?
I mean, that is steampunk.
No, but without the introduction of the steam engine, steampunk's meant to be the introduction of the steam, steam powered. But there was a thing, remember they used to do with Clockwork?
I clearly do not.
These young people, I don't know. I remember 3,000 years ago, back in the ancient of ancient days, that was one of the...
Back in my day, before steam engines.
Back in my day, we had no steam, we only had the punk. You kids don't know you had it that good.
Can't confirm.
It might be going with like full steam. Obviously, we haven't seen any mechanism, but I would not be against that. If it's going like full steampunk vibe, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Steve and I covered what was it? Not the Curse, not the Revenge, the other Frankenstein. I've already forgotten it. It was terrible. The third Frankenstein movie from Hammer Horror.
Yeah, fuck, I'm trying to blank.
And they did it. We covered it like 2 weeks ago. There's something of Frankenstein and the evil of Frankenstein. That was the one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, for fuck's sake, I was getting there about, and they did it like a 60s psychedelic, the Monsters episode when he's in the lab and stuff.
Hell yeah.
And it's just like, this does not fit. Just the way, and they did the flashback where if they show it from the era, but just being a bit out there, but era of the time, we don't need to see neon bulbs, for example,
Mm-hmm.
because they weren't a thing. He's not doing anything like that. But if it's like, look at the floor, looks as if it has some sort of mechanism to it and retracts and turns and puts the body up. Yes,
Yeah.
just wants a good story, man. That's all I want. I want a good story.
Well, at least the nice thing is we can usually trust Guillermo del Toro. So I'm pretty stoked.
He is a solid storyteller. We'll have to give him that.
Mhm.
He is.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like even his quote unquote bombs are still better than most people's movies.
Mm.
Like fucking Crimson Peaks. I absolutely love that movie. And not a lot of people dug that. But it's like that was a solid gothic Victorian horror story.
Mm-hmm. Who's playing the monster? We'll find out in a wee second. Guillermo del Toro is adapting Mary Shelley's classic novel Frankenstein for Netflix. And production now wrapped. Vanity Fair has shared the first look photo from the set. There we go. Jacob Elordi will be playing Frankenstein's monster in Guillermo del Toro's adaptation of the classic Mary Shelley. Blah blah blah.
Oh no.
Alongside
Mia
Maya,
Goth.
Christoph Waltz, and Oscar Isaac.
I can't stand Mia Goth.
No, you've never mentioned this before.
No, I know. it's a very very hidden secret of mine that I can't stand that fucking shit ass.
She's got like one toe. I have only seen her in the X trilogy, and honestly, coming off the back of that, I've no desire to see her in anything else.
I've seen her in other things, and it's the
No, I haven't.
same.
Yeah,
I mean, you're literally not missing anything. You can copy and paste her into anything, and that's essentially her acting range.
yeah,
It's not good.
it's still in production, like no problems at all. Yeah, we'll get another article in about a month, another fluff piece of sidetrack drama, just to keep it in the zeitgeist because the movie's still happening.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, why? This doesn't mean anything to start announcing shit so fucking early. Like, it doesn't matter.
They're
It's not
just
going to get
desperate.
more asses in seats.
No, just try. I think it's more. You know what Hollywood's like? It's not so much for the audience; it's for the people in the background. So they give things in certain articles because certain people with the money people read the articles.
Mm-hmm.
Like Vanity Fair's one, that's something that's on all the plastic surgeons' tables in the waiting rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And that's those people that read that stuff, and it's more for themselves than us as an audience.
Yeah,
Because they've made it quite clear they don't give a shit about us as the audience. We're just the pay pigs, and we're just expected to go and file in, be good little sheeples, and hand over the money.
I mean, they're not wrong. I do that, but still.
That's why you've got me to sort of tell you when you're wrong at times. Go, don't do that, Cameron.
But I want to put my dick in a light socket. It only hurt most of the time.
Yeah, but this one's 13 amp. It'll hurt more. Right. Check out the very first look at Guillermo del Toro, Frankenstein below. Is that not above? Is this something different?
It's
You can guess I haven't read the article.
more expanded picture.
It is.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing, just the full frame.
And are they keeping the camera in it? Is that
I
part of the movie?
hope so.
Do you know what?
That's the technology.
You would think to take this, you'd think they'd move the camera arm, wouldn't you?
No, of course not.
A photo.
It's a behind the scenes photo. It's literally, behind the scene. Here is the scene. Here's the fucking picture being taken.
Well, you think you'd go back a bit and you see normally a chair and a shadow and stuff.
Yeah.
Dear. But that's a very short one. That's it.
Yeah, it's an absolute fluff piece. Hey, here's a picture that another company did we're going to post it so that you guys pay attention to us. It's absolutely the Stewart thing of, look at me.
Yeah.
Or look what I can do.
We reacted to the article. See, I defend doing this because at least we're taking it to another format and we're reading and discussing the points of the article. But it'll be like me copying a video. Do you know reactors? That's why I'll never be a reactor. Because they just take somebody else's and they react to another reactor reacting. Have you ever seen that?
Oh, yeah. No,
It
that's
just
just annoying.
they're reacting to another reactor's reaction of the reaction. And you're just like, mate, make your own fucking content.
Right? It's like, I want to see the actual video, not your dumbass superimposed over the fucking video going. You're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. No, don't want to go down that road, but yeah, it's been terrible this month for news.
Yeah.
Like I've even had to miss a couple of days. Like I try to put one out every day, but there's just been nothing. Like I've been scrolling and there's been legit nothing.
That's the joys of a strike, man, is like we're feeling the repercussions of it right now. And it's going to continue into the next year. So,
yeah, 2025 is not going to be a good year.
I mean, it might be.
It might be blips, but
I mean, fucking Guillermo del Toro movie. So there's that.
Right. That's
At
one
least we
movie
got
out of
that.
an entire year.
Hey, you know what? We got more of the Pooh verse. So that's going to be cool. I'm fucking excited.
If it stopped taking themselves so fucking seriously, like if
They're
it would do it
not.
tongue in cheek.
It is. It's not, there's nothing serious about it.
Sorry, whiny Christopher Robin. I'm being accused of everything. But you love that sort of shit anyway. I don't.
Yeah. Well, it's like it makes sense for the character. He's a whiny snot, and no one likes him anyways. So it fits.
Yeah. It shows how impactful this article is. We're just talking about other stuff.
Right? More important, interesting things.
Yeah. It'll be a movie. It'll be Del Toro.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
It's for Netflix, so it'll be normalized. It'll be normie friendly.
I mean, it's getting a theatrical run at least, so that's cool.
I thought it was just for Netflix.
No, it even said in the article it's getting a theatrical run.
Oh, you read it? I was waiting to know.
Yeah, if you scroll down a bit, it says that it's slated for 2025, and yes, it's getting a theatrical run. With a link to another article from somebody else, I'm sure.
Right. Okay. Lovely. Okay. Right. Yeah, that'll be a fun cinema flick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that he does, it's visual poetry. It's meant to be seen as big as possible. So, like, that's something I'd definitely go to like a fucking IMAX screen for if I got a chance.
Yeah, that's one thing. Del Toro is consistent. That's what I like about people who produce that. You know what you're getting. It's the ones that are off the wall or jump for the trends and just try to be everything and all things, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But there you go. That was interesting. Yeah, I'll be going to see it anyway. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it could be an article about this being like, oh, this is the worst movie ever made. No, I'm getting tickets opening weekend.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
There we go. Fun times.
And then the next exciting article that
I am interested.
Is it an article? I'm interested for the movie. Absolutely, I'm fucking excited.
It's a movie I'm looking forward to this year. I like Robert Eggers. Once again, you know what you're getting with him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what you're getting with Robert Eggers. He does not mess about.
Yeah.
So Nosferatu is rated R or 18 over here, or is it going to be 15? Maybe 15 over here for bloody violence and graphic nudity. Are we going to see boobies?
I mean, it says graphics. So that usually, I would imagine that means we're going to get peener too. Plus, William Dafoe's in it, so there's probably going to be some peener in it.
Yeah, he does throw it about.
I mean, why not?
Here, I like William Dafoe. He's another one. You know what you're getting with him. You're getting a sort of contained chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. Like splitting at the seams, but just barely staying in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for this one too.
What movie was he talking about? He practiced the one. His character had a pipe, and he practiced that tapping the pipe into the fire about 200 times before he did it, because he didn't want that to interfere with his performance. You know, he didn't want to be looking as if he was fumbling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's one of them sort of individuals where he's all about the moment of the scene, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
No, and I appreciate him for it. God, if he hadn't been in the first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I don't really remember it. I mean, I remember him in it, but
yeah, you remember him in it. Like,
that's pretty much about all I remember of the movie.
like I said, if he hadn't been in the first Spider-Man movie, would Tobey Maguire have taken off? Like when you saw the sequels, there was William Dafoe made that movie as a Green Goblin.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like he was the only one in that movie that was like an actual comic book character.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He made that. If he hadn't been in it, it would have just been Tobey Maguire doing Tobey Maguire stuff. Because what else has Tobey Maguire been in that's memorable?
Yep. I'm like trying to go through the mental Rolodex. I'm like,
as a tumbleweed,
have I seen him in?
Bung.
Yeah.
And the prosecution rests his case.
Yep.
So, and the fact William Dafoe's in this as well, that's going to be interesting. William Dafoe and Bill Skarsgård, who still hasn't apologized for The Crow.
I mean, a paycheck's a paycheck, man. I gotta respect the hustle.
Or is it part of the NDA? Do not fucking apologize for this movie.
Probably.
And 14 character font, you know. You will not apologize to this movie for the length of this contract.
I could see it. I could definitely see it.
Somebody proper had a go at me in the chat or in the comments over that, and I was like, "No, the difference between the writer and the actor is like still took a gig."
Still, like if you are looking at something on screen and it is not good, it is a culmination of fuck ups. Not saying that it's just the actor, but the actor's a part of it.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
There was a scene, like they hired a singer for the Shelley character. And there was a scene where she's meant to sing and she couldn't sing. She sort of went, like couldn't actually sing. She was. It says well. Anyway, this will be Bill Skarsgård's redemption arc.
Hopefully,
yes. I don't think Eggers will allow him not to be crap or to be crap.
True.
He is a man of detail.
Yeah, I can't think of a single thing of his that wasn't just perfection.
And people even slagged off the Northman, but that's if you just go into that, just switch your brain off and go into that mindset of that time, it's a blast.
Well, I mean, I saw a lot of, like, I understand why a lot of people weren't too happy with it, specifically people that are fans of the Assassin's Creed video game, because it was there were a lot of shot-for-shot ripoffs of the cinematic parts of Assassin's Creed Berserker or whatever the fuck it was.
I've never played it, so
neither have I. I don't
played the first one briefly, but no interest in the franchise.
Yeah, it's so fucking repetitive. Like I played the first one for like a couple hours and I got bored. Black Flags was pretty cool because you get to use it, pilot a pirate ship, but yeah, while I can respect the game, I am not a fan of the game.
Yeah. So,
oh man, I was gonna rent that shit later, the new Crow, just to see how bad it is, but apparently I don't have enough points to not have to pay for yourself. No, man, I gotta see it. As much as I don't want to, I have to see it just to see how bad it is.
Yeah. I've still got PTSD from that.
I believe it, man. Like seeing those trailers, it's just like,
yeah, and you've got 2
so
hours
the Crow sells meth now. Cool.
Lovely. Anyway, Focus features a celebrating Christmas with director Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, and the fresh take on the horror classic has been rated R this week. Nosferatu has been rated R by the MPA for bloody violent content, graphic nudity, and some sexual content. That's not me putting the art. Fucking clickbait. Look, fucking clickbait article. Twat. Twat. Bill Skarsgård is playing Nosferatu, Count Orlok in the film, in theaters December 25th, 2024. Nicholas Hoult, Emma Corrin, Willem Dafoe, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and Lily Rose Depp also star in Robert Eggers' big screen resurrection of the Nosferatu legend. There's a warning there. When they start rhyming off the names, like it becomes a credits reel, there's no article. When I'm doing an article now, my eyes start glazing over once I start seeing that, the whole paragraph of just who's at it, blah, 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 blah. And this person made the coffee, and this person beat the rugs, and this person, blah, 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 blah.
All joking aside, that is a very important role.
I'm not diminishing it.
Just saying. Like, I'll take a coffee guy over anybody else in management any fucking day.
Do you know what? I would respect the coffee person to give their opinions on movies as opposed to some idiot in the executive suite.
Well, dude, like
they're actually on set and they're seeing people busting their bits.
Yeah. Well, I mean the classic tale of fuck, what was it? Seinfeld with Bryan Cranston, like his whole thing where he before he starts working on Jerry, he takes that big huff of the nitrous and then starts. That was a Crafty. Like that was somebody at Crafty when Bryan Cranston was over there getting some grub was like, it'd be funny if you did this. He fucking did it, and that is a classic part of television history now. Like, yeah, they're on more sets than anybody else, including actors. Fucking listen to them, definitely.
It's a typical corporate structure, isn't it? You don't actually listen to the people that do the job day in, day out and deal with all the problems. No, you get some outsider to come in as a consultant who's never actually been in through the doors and listen to their advice.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a pretty loosely defined article. I do like that they bring up Werner Herzog.
Yep,
even though it's not Nosferatu, it's Nosferatu the vampire. But it's bloody disgusting. They don't know shit about horror.
Yeah, this is about as normieism, isn't it? Yeah, we still had fun. The 1922 version holds up. Like, we had fun reviewing that.
Dude, I fucking love it, man. And I love the different versions of it too. Like, I have one version where it's just all like classic, like goth, death rock type shit as the soundtrack. Like watching Nosferatu and then having Typo Negative fucking be the backing track instead of the classic track. It's magical.
Yeah,
dude, it's fucking magical. Like there's Bauhaus, fucking if I remember correctly, like it's some alien sex fiend. Like it's a well-rounded soundtrack.
God, and that's 90s-tastic, isn't it?
Perfect.
Oh god, back to my teenage years. In fact, early adult years. God, I am old.
Yeah, early adult years. Yeah, I was.
That was 80s. Me in club. It wasn't even me on the tape. That was me in clubs, rock bars, listening to that when it was considered new. Here's a new way of hell. Old fart. Thanks for bringing that up, Cameron.
Gotcha. You know what? I lived through 4 years of the 80s, so I can appreciate that.
Yeah. Okay. I've been around before then, even. Thanks. Dear. Yeah, the 1922 silent movie followed the vampire Count Orlok, who wants to buy a house in Germany and becomes enamored with the real estate agent's wife. It was an unofficial adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula, which almost led to all copies being destroyed. Yeah, I remember Stoker went apeshit. Like, he was still alive at the time. And he went apeshit, and his publishing house went apeshit. Over it.
I mean, I get it. Somebody's ripping off your shit. You're not getting paid. At least I'd throw a fit too. I mean, I'm glad he didn't. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it needed to survive, and there's always, once you create a character, you know, there's always going to be a knockoff. Once you create anything, there's always going to be somebody that emulates.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, I suppose this is where I'm a bit annoying fence sitter on the whole thing now. I used to be very black and white about this sort of thing, but does it add, you know, if somebody creates a knockoff and it becomes popular and it's just knocked off enough that it's not an exact adaptation, but it always leads back to your property and your property gets bigger because of it, is that a bad thing?
Fuck no.
Do you know what I mean? That's where I'm kind of having a struggle with the whole moral quandary on it.
Well, is it a bad thing on surface level? No. As long as you're getting paid. Like if you're getting paid, yeah, absolutely. It's fucking great. But then you look at shit like Night of the Living Dead. Fucking
That holds a Guinness World Record for the, was it because of a contract or a problem in the
yeah, it was
rights?
last second contract because it went from Night of the Creeps to Night of the Living Dead, and because new contracts weren't set out with a new title, it essentially made that company null and void. So it immediately went into the realm of public domain instead of being a product essentially. Yep. And yeah, like and that's why
the most featured movie in other movies, and it's holds a Guinness World Record. But once again,
that shit, I get so mad every time I see that in movies because it's like, you son of a bitch, you cheap fuck, you didn't want to pay somebody to have their movie in here, you fucking turd.
Yeah. However, here's the other side. Did that keep that movie in the zeitgeist? Did it help keep the movie in the zeitgeist and continue to be popular and people go back? Well, I suppose what I'm trying to say is, did that movie get extra sales or extra rentals because of the featuring, i.e. free advertising? Or did it do the movie harm? Now, if it did the original movie harm and it lost money, yeah, totally against that. If the knock-on effect, like, for example, did Nosferatu point people toward Bram Stoker's Dracula? Wanting to read it?
Yeah. See, yeah, that's the thing.
Then that's a positive thing. If people watch this instead of reading Bram Stoker's Dracula, not good. That's where I'm sitting with it, and I don't know the answer.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. It's definitely case by case. Like in this case, no, I think it's fucking silly. Like, again, I understand. Like, Bram Stoker had every right to be fucking pissed off, but it's like, like you said, it's going to bring people who have never read that novel from watching this being like, oh, I want to see the source material. Like, I'm that way. Like, if I watch a movie that I like, find out it's based on a book, I immediately buy the book. Immediately. Yeah.
Yeah, there's books I've read because of like a movie and stuff, like some of King's stuff has led me, because seeing the movie as a kid, because that was the first access I had to it. Oh, yeah, I want to check that out.
Same. That's how I got into it. It was definitely the movies. And yeah, I mean, of course, they're two different beasts, but I love both.
Different, like I said, us covering the article is a completely different format, and we're just talking about it and we're bringing up other things. So we're not actually just bringing this article up on screen and playing it and jingle music over the back, and pretend we're made a video, if that makes sense.
Right.
Those ones piss me off.
Yeah, it's just people that just narrate the shit. I was like,
don't give their opinion,
It's like, come on. It's like, that's the whole point of this shit.
They don't even narrate. They use fucking robot TikTok voice. They're not lazy. They don't even narrate themselves. They use robot fucking AI voice.
Well, I don't understand, because it's like the whole point of doing this is the pseudo interaction that you have between the audience and the people on screen. If there's nothing personal added to it, literally, you're just like, they could have just read the fucking article.
Yeah. What's the point of the creating thing? That's why I always try to make us into a discussion, because that's kind of the point, is coming out. Have the lawyers got too involved? I know laws and legal presence build up because of incidents, and that's how sort of goes. But has it got to the point now where you can't even pay homage to something? Like we were discussing before we went on stream, I won't even show trailers now or react to trailers because I just don't need the hassle of copyright strikes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Which I
and
haven't lost
it's
one yet. You know what I mean? I've always fought back and won, but it's just the hassle of, well, I was going to watch a trailer and talk about it, you know, something coming out, but I'm not going to do it anymore because it's just not worth the frigging balls ache. I'm not
right.
stealing
Yeah,
anything.
because
In fact, I'm
it's
advertising
not
money.
even. Yeah, it's not even like somebody who works there specifically just to look at things to see, oh, is this copyright infringement? No, there's a fucking a bot that decides, oh, this is a copyright infringement, and there's nobody you can talk to explain the situation. You just have to send off an email and hope that it gets resolved. 99% of the time it does, but yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
Yep. And then you see other channels just blatantly rip shit off all the time and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're hundreds of thousands of views and millions of views and monetized. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, there's even companies that put their own shit up that will deal with that shit. Like I've heard dozens of stories from, say, like specifically like Aerioscope, the people that did Hatchet and stuff like that. They've been hit for fucking copyright infringement for putting up their own trailers, and then they will send emails being like, "Yeah, but look at this page. They literally have the movie posted illegally." And they're fine. Like, what the fuck?
Nothing happens.
No, not a goddamn thing. It's stupid as hell.
It does get you annoyed. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. The last thing I saw Lily Rose Depp in was Yoga Hosers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that might be like
That's the last thing I've ever.
Too.
The only thing, sorry, I'll reiterate. The only thing I've ever seen Lily Rose Depp in is Yoga Hosers.
Okay, what did you think?
I don't know how to feel about her being in this movie because that's the only reference.
Let's see. I'm trying to think.
This could be wonderful. It could be.
Oh, she was in Tusk. I saw Tusk. I like Tusk. Forgot about that. Yeah, I
don't remember.
I think that might be.
She has not been in a lot.
Moose Jaws. Oh my fucking god!
There is just picked another shit movie.
I think I might have just found my new favorite movie. Wait. Okay. It's a Kevin Smith thing, so I think it might be a fake trailer or something.
He's someone that needs to go away. He's well over.
Sir, I will argue the fuck out of you with that. Like, I
don't know anything. So
what's that?
You don't know anything, so
that is true. That is true.
He's done. He is well. Nah, once he gets him with He-Man, that's it. You can fucking do one.
Yeah, I've never watched any of the cartoons that he's done.
Yeah, it's depressing. Mess with my childhood. But yeah, so they're not going to hold back. I'm a no Eggers. He doesn't hold back. So we're going to see it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely. Like that's the thing I'm most excited for Christmas is to go see that.
No, but even this year, it's the only movie I've been remotely looking forward to. And not feeling like, right, here's one I have to review sort of thing. It's one I'm genuinely looking forward to go and seeing because
fair.
Kind of, I've seen some of the shots for Willem Dafoe as well, as the vampire hunter. And I just think I don't think it's going to be disrespectful. I think they're just going to take it to a new level, and just flesh it out a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm all down for that. And I feel like you're going to be in that time period. It's not going to be some postmodern thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's set up in the 19th century, so like it's on par with the original film.
Yeah, so he's going to do that. He's not going to try. It's not going to be Van Helsing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm fucking excited.
Yeah,
definitely. I feel like it's been a while since we've had a Eggers movie come out, and it's just a solid artist.
Yeah, looking forward to it. There we go. Fun times.
Indeed.
And now we get to have some, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. This was a thing.
This was absolutely a thing.
Let's do it. All right, so we are talking about Smell 2, which,
Yep.
if you look back and remember our review of the original Smell, we had some concerns about it moving forward, and we thought it could go one of two directions. It could go where it logically followed on after the events of the first story,
Mm-hmm.
or this.
I still argue that that's how it opened, was the detective getting murdered by the entity. So I don't know. Like
It was a tenuous link.
it was, but I mean it also makes sense because they're setting up a new story, and quite frankly, I think the cop's arc would have been boring because he already went through it with the main
Yeah, the
protagonist in the
doctor.
first
Yeah.
film. So it's like, what new is going to happen to him versus what happened, vicariously through the doctor. So I felt it was the right way to do it because, especially with this being so fucking long, like that's my biggest problem with this movie is they could have
Plus 2
easily,
hours. Plus 2 hours long.
yeah, it was 2 hours and like 5 minutes or something. They could have shaved off easily 20 minutes and it would have been fine. Now, the funny thing is, afterwards, that's, my wife and I were talking about it, and it's like, God, I don't remember the first one feeling this fucking long. It's like it had to have been like an hour and a half, like a nice solid 90-minute feature. And no, it was like 5 minutes shorter, but that first one, just the pacing, the suspense, all that shit, it didn't make it feel that fucking long.
Plus, we
With
were
this,
introduced to a new concept as well.
were we?
Well, the new concept of the monster. And
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we're seeing this for the first time. A lot of this was retreads.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I mean, that's the thing is, it's like that was smart to do because, obviously this is something they're going to try to keep going with. So it would only make sense to show everything happen the same way. And it's just like The Ring or anything like that. Like there's a specific thing set up and everybody that experiences it the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it definitely
with the
didn't need to
sequels,
be
if
as
they
long
don't cover a bit of the lore with the Ring, like the fact that they made a mistake in the first movie that didn't follow the instructions because by taking her body out of the well, they actually released her as opposed to setting her to rest.
Yeah, I don't remember them, to be honest.
They played that a bit. They played with that a bit. Sorry, Samara's the American version. I keep forgetting the Japanese version. Sayako.
Yeah.
They actually accidentally released the demon to cause more havoc, which then fed into the sequels.
Yeah,
So it wasn't actually the spirit of the girl anymore. It was the demon that had possessed her. This girl's spirit was long gone and replaced. So that's with the sequels. And then, of course, we'll have The Grudge versus The Ring, which was epic.
Dude, that is... Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that shit, what was it? Steiku versus whatever. So goddamn
I've reviewed
good.
it on the channel anyway.
Yeah. No, but I will sing its praises anytime I get a chance because that had no right to be as good as it was at all.
Yeah,
but it was fucking amazing.
It should have been a mess, but no, it turned out to be absolutely glorious.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see this franchise going the same way. I just see it being
no.
I don't see a third movie generating any sort of excitement.
It's going to be similar to, I mean, really any other modern horror type thing where it's going to get sequels. People are going to go see it, but it's just going to be sort of like just like a dud of a firecracker going
Yeah.
off. Like I can see where the next sequel's going, and I shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And that's, yeah. Like, to me, I didn't hate it, but I wasn't excited either. I just
I'm
sort of going, I've just felt like I was going through the motions watching this.
See, I genuinely liked it. I just felt like there was a lot of wasted space. Because like I of course jump scares get everybody because they're jump scares. That's what they're intended to do. I usually am not a jumpy person. This one got me a few times. So it's like I will definitely give them kudos for that, but it was they didn't quite get the suspense aspect of this right.
Mm.
Like the first one, there was a lot of scenes where there's no dialogue, just barely any sort of score, but it was legit terrifying.
I always say the scene in the car, she's sitting in the car, the entity comes in the head, wobbles off the side. It looks stupid on the surface
Mhm,
until it cuts to the kid watching her freak out in the car with
mhm.
nothing around her. That's what made it terrifying.
Yeah, yeah, because that's
It
when we're
gave you
getting the glimpse
context
of
of
what's
watching
going on.
somebody breaking down, a kid watching somebody, a trusted adult, their
Mhm,
his aunt, breaking down, which is actually a horror in itself, and that's what horror is meant to be. It it touches enough in the real world and your real life experiences and fears, and that's
mhm.
what it taps into.
Yeah, and I do feel like that's what was missing with this, was we didn't really get any of the glimpses from the outside. It was just all specifically her perspective. And like I thought that was fantastic with the first film
Mhm.
because yeah, it's just that one quick little scene. It shows us what everybody else is experiencing, and like that's what makes it genuinely terrifying. Because like with all the scary shit in this, it was that's probably actually happening.
Mm.
Like for instance, the scene with the little girl and the signing before the concert. Um,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
every
it's like
possibility.
Yeah, it's like that girl was probably there doing that.
But
Um,
they never, if they cut the scene to what she sees, the reality of what we see, is everybody around her, and the wee girl had to be normal, not understand what's going on. That's what they did in the first movie
mhm,
enough times to make you go, oh, right, this is what the entity's doing to her, and this is what everybody else is seeing around, so that's why she can be brushed off.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing, again, like, that's what made it so good with the first one, was we got those little glimpses of true reality, not her reality,
Mm.
and it shoulda had that, especially with the fucking runtime.
Yeah.
Like, they could've
Not like they didn't have enough
easily done
time.
that. Yeah, they could have very easily have done that. Because really, thinking back to it, the only time that happened was during the rehearsal, like the dress rehearsal where w you know, she thinks she sees one of the dancers jump in front of her with the stupid smile on their face, and that's what scares her, trips her up or whatever, and the one dude's like, "No, everybody was good. It was just you." Like, that's the closest we had to that kinda thing
Mm.
in this one.
Yeah, it was really sanitized. But I'm also sick and tired of recovering junkie protagonist girl.
Mhm.
That trope has been done way too much now. Evil Dead remake, Evil Dead Rise, Hellraiser remake. God, where else have freaking done it? You know what I mean? Loads. It's the same trope. I'm in
I
recovery.
Thing is, I have no
I'm
problem
still
with it
no, but it's been overdone.
if it makes well, I mean, everything's been overdone.
Yeah.
Cinema is over 100 years old. Like, there's the South Park joke of The Simpsons did it. Everything's been done before. There's nothing new. But this, like, aside from the fact that that was the catalyst to her to go to her drug dealer's house, there was no reason for it,
No, especially
like, at
somebody
all.
that powerful. She doesn't have people to do it for her.
Well, I
No.
mean, it does make sense because she's trying to hide it. So, yeah.
Mm.
But I mean, yeah, like if she's well, no, I guess it makes sense she wouldn't have people show up to her place. Never mind. Thinking out loud. But
She doesn't have her own Joshua, the most
hmm?
annoying character in this. She
Oh, yeah.
Because Joshua's her mother's assistant, not hers.
Mhm.
but she doesn't have her own. You know, what I mean, she's not that powerful enough to have her own. I don't know, but the whole opening scene with us as well was such a contrived setup to explain the drug dealer how he, it just
So,
I thought that
funny
was a bit
enough,
overdone.
it was I didn't realize, like, I was confused how the fuck Lewis got the entity to follow him. And I watched it. I was there in the movie, and I had just completely missed that he was there. Like,
Oh, right.
it was fucking funny.
That was 10 minutes to get us there of side plot that really could have been done in like 5. There's 15 minutes that could have been shaved off.
Mhm.
Like just have him bump into witness it, be there, one and done. You watch the detective do it. Really that simple.
Mhm.
That was the beauty of the first one, was that it was such a random event with a psychologist, just on call, normal day at the office, no links or whatever, no reason why it should happen to her, but it did. She
Mhm.
was in the wrong place at the wrong time, on the wrong shift. That's how it happened. This just felt like it was setting up too much
Mhm.
to get the entity to the I'll use the term loosely, protagonist in this movie.
Yeah,
It was like they were
it did
trying too hard.
feel like a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. But also, even the whole setup, that's what gets me about the whole gangbang culture stuff. The fact they're so stupid. So they're in a doll's house, basically, that's where they're operating from, to be discreet, I suppose. But they turn up in the flashiest, noisiest cars that draw attention to themselves.
Right.
And you're like, so you've all this spare cash floating about and you're loaded. You're telling me you can't afford some beat up, just indistinct, looks like nothing, and you can't put some normal work duds. You can't not look like a gangster when you're actually
Yeah.
conducting
No,
your
it's
business. Look like
that's
I'm a gangster when you need to look like a gangster, but fuck's sake,
that's
learn
the
when to switch
frustrating
it on and
part,
off.
man. It's like I know drug dealers, and that's not a drug dealer. Like I bought some from some sketchy people back in my day, and the vast majority of motherfuckers, it's the most nondescript, non-assuming fucking mom mobile they have. They're low key as fuck because guess what? That's how you stay out of prison.
Funny
So
enough,
yeah, always seeing that shit. It's like, man, that's not fucking real.
yeah, it's just screaming, "Arrest me!" May as well have
Yeah, pretty
"arrest me"
much.
painted on the top of the.
Pretty fucking much.
Yeah, but we'll have this whole scene and action scenes and stuff, and you're like, "Why is this? What movie is this? Is this an
I mean,
action
I
movie?"
liked it because
Yeah, but that
I
doesn't
dig that
fit
kind
with
of shit.
us. Yeah, but it's a different movie.
Mhm.
I'll watch an action movie. I'll watch scenes if it's in context. But when it's just been done because reasons,
Well, and it's I feel like to your point earlier, if it had been shorter, because of the fact that it's supposed to be fast paced, it's supposed to be what get your blood flowing to
mm,
essentially prime you for this movie. Make it quick. Like it doesn't need to be that drawn out. Um, like was like the scene was fantastic, but yeah, it was definitely a little long just to be an intro.
mhm.
Like, of course, there's examples of movies that can do a cold open, and it's a long fucking cold open, and it's fantastic. I
In
mean, I know a
context of
lot
the
of
movie,
people will argue this, but what's that?
in the context of the movie,
Yeah, but so like, I mean, great example is the '09 Friday the 13th. That's a fucking like 20-30 minute cold open that has
that worked.
nothing to do with the movie really, and it's
It was
fantastic.
actually
And
better than the rest of the movie. We reviewed it,
yeah,
and it had a
yeah,
better bunch of characters than the rest of the movie.
yeah,
That is a better
absolutely.
premise than the
So
rest
it's
of the
like it
movie.
it can be done, but like this is I don't know. It felt like it overstayed its welcome.
It felt forced,
And
and when it feels forced, you're like, okay, I don't have hope.
well, and I almost wonder too if if the rest of the movie was better or on par with that, would we be thinking the same thing?
Well, no,
Because it's like we
that's the
really
whole
didn't
argument.
we didn't get that same feeling from that opening scene ever again throughout the rest of the movie.
Mm.
Even when shit hits the fan and she's, deep in the hallucination and all that stuff,
Yeah.
we still don't get that same feeling. And it's like I guess that's the disconnect with the intro versus the
This is
rest
a
of the movie.
different. The intro is a different movie from the movie.
Mhm.
It's something. It could be any gangster, drug dealer, crazy. It could be any movie. Not this. Not Smell
Mhm.
2. It's completely disconnected. And
Yeah.
also that truck to do that sort of
Yeah.
damage, like cutting them in half and spraying
Mhm.
them all over this. What speed was that truck doing? It did not look like 120 miles an hour.
Yeah,
And
that was that was pretty excessive. And it's like,
I didn't see
"Motherfucker,
any
you're in a
spikes in the way.
goddamn neighborhood." Like, come on.
If it had been a Mad Max truck with spikes and rotating like lawnmower attached to the front,
Mhm.
I would get the damage.
Mhm.
But no.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be going minimum of, like, 60, 70 to get any sort of, like, loose body parts and shit.
Yeah.
Like, uh, that's some shit. I mean, it looked cool. I felt like they held on it too long. Like, you see a fucking guy running across the street and a car just boom. Like, you get the idea, "Oh, okay, this person's dead." You don't
Yeah.
need to spend 5 minutes slowly pulling out to show the blood going down the street. Like, we get it, he's dead. Cool, let's
Mhm.
start with the movie.
And this is where I'm thinking, oh god, this is trying too hard. It's gonna be one of these movies. Like it just tells me everything I need to know for the rest of the time, and I think it was right. Just the whole sense of we're trying too hard to do something different with the same thing.
Mhm.
Oh god. And then we got a cameo by Drew Barrymore in her talk show, introducing the
Yep,
singer.
that was exciting. I did think it was funny, like, "Oh, what about your drug problem?" "Oh, I don't got a drug problem, it's cool." And then immediately cuts to her trying to buy drugs.
Yeah. I I hate talk shows anyway.
Yeah,
They're the sooner they get relegated to the past.
it's like they at one point used to have some merit to them, like, the good old days of Jerry Springer.
Easy,
Now I
easy.
just don't get it anymore.
No. They're down on their arse anyway, you know that. That's why they're always trying to clickbait stuff
Mhm.
and get involved in current day things and stuff that they're not really meant to because they've nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And the fact that those shows suffered the most from the writer's strike is hilarious.
Right.
That
Yeah.
was the funniest thing that out of all the Jimmys and stuff, all them 5 show hosts that all look exactly the same, sound the same. You can't tell them apart. Like you could line them up together and they all look freaking same,
Mhm.
right? All Emmons couldn't do episodes because their team of 10 writers that operate in every episode weren't there anymore.
Yeah, that shit makes me giggle so much. It's like, you're supposed to be some famous fucking comedian, and you can't even write your own shit. I mean, I'd get it if they were in the Writers Guild.
Mhm.
Then it makes sense because literally they can't
No,
do it.
that was the
But
whole joke. They weren't.
yeah, yeah, that's the funny part. It's like you're supposed to be a funny guy, and you have everybody else write for you. All right, cool.
Yeah.
You are literally just a talking head. That's fantastic.
Ah, dear. And then obviously, like I said, she does this talk show, and we'll get the whole setup of the struggling pop star with the God, her mother's a cunt. But we've seen this before. We're not, I mean, nothing new. It's sort of going
Mhm.
over old ground and some. I'm not seeing anything to enthrall me, if that makes sense, with this story. Oh, we're doing this again. Okay.
Yeah, my thing was I just kept waiting to give a shit about her, and I not once did I.
And that's bad. Like I
Mhm.
felt for the protagonist in the first movie.
Yeah, no, like it was.
I genuinely felt for her. She was just somebody trying to do her job,
Mhm.
ends up in a shitty situation well above her head, and nothing she's even as a trained professional,
Mm-hmm.
all her own coping mechanisms she's tried to teach other people are useless when a demon entity decides it's going to munch in your brain and your soul.
Mm-hmm.
That was truly terrifying, the concept of that. But that's you're just like,
Yeah, it's like, when is she gonna die?
that's it.
Can she die already? Like there was no, like, at least with the first one, you think, okay, maybe there's some hope, and I want to see her beat this. I want to see her beat this. With this, it's just like, come on, speed it up. I want to see this bitch die.
Yeah, come on, be good, and yeah, he's not.
Yeah.
But if you go into a smackhead's house and the first thing they do is pull a katana on you, and they're wide-eyed, googly, going, "You're a green alien monster." Blah, 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 blah. How much of an addict do you have to be to go, I really need those pills? Or
Right.
cold turkey, I've already been through cold turkey in rehab. Maybe another day or two will be fine.
Yeah.
Sneak out the door.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I've dealt with some sketchy motherfuckers. Nothing ever remotely like that. And I'd get the fuck out of there. I've far less sketchy shit. I'd be like, nah, I'm good, and just fucked off and suffered the consequences of withdrawals. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Especially over pills, man. Like I don't know. Like and it's coming from a fucking recovering addict. Like I wouldn't do shit like that for fucking pills.
Yeah, that's when you kind of know, once again, this movie's trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's telegraphing, guess what's coming next?
Mm-hmm.
It's like slapstick comedy. If slapstick comedy's done wrong, you see the plank on the shoulder swung one too many times where you lose the gag.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this movie feels like. Like the setup each scene that it's coming for you. You're like, okay, can we get there, please?
Yeah.
Can we see him die already? And sure enough.
Well, it's funny that you bring up slapstick. It's like if Lewis's death scene, if it had a different score to it, it would be a fucking comedy.
Yeah.
Like that was hilarious. Like I was laughing my ass off. It was great. So rarely does this ever happen, but when I went and saw it, it was literally just me and my wife. There's nobody else there, so we were just loud and just rowdy as fuck the whole time. It was so fucking fun. But yeah, that we were both rolling our asses off because it's just like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Especially because the trailers and stuff. But God, it was so fucking funny.
I didn't watch the trailer. I don't watch trailers for things I'm planning to watch.
Yeah, I try to avoid it because I don't want shit spoiled.
They give away too much now.
Well, it's the fucking Disney model of trailers. Like everybody subscribes to that nowadays, and it's so fucking stupid.
Do you know what I really hate? I've probably said this before, but they're doing this intro bit and then it goes, trailer starts now. When the fuck did that become a thing?
I'm not even sure I know what you're talking about.
Have you not right? They start rolling the trailer, right? And then they put in the graphic going, trailer starts now.
I've never seen that.
Oh, check it out for movies you don't want to watch. Like, I think normie stuff, but honestly, you'll see it.
I think that might be something only over on your side of the world because
it's easy on YouTube. I watch trailers.
Oh, I don't fucking watch shit on YouTube.
But I buy the company. They. It's all.
That's funny. Yeah, I've never seen that before.
I'm gonna have to now look for some.
Definitely send me something.
Stand by for dumps later on.
Hell yeah!
as I go to automatic.
It's
shitty trailers later on. Oh, there's this one. Look, there's this one. Like, okay, go on, get it. Fuck up now.
That's just a great example of people thinking that their clients are fucking idiots. I mean, they're probably not that far.
They did it for one of the Ghostbusters one. I'm almost sure.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
I think they did it for the Frozen Empire one, which that's
fine.
I just can't be. I looked at the trailer. I went, I can't be arsed.
It wasn't good at all. Like, and it's frustrating too because the first of the new ones, like I really liked it. Yeah, that was a great
And
fucking movie.
but it was a love letter to Ramus, so
Mhm,
that was, we all got it, what the movie
mhm,
was. It was a goodbye old friend type letter more than anything else. So
mhm.
I think that's why we bought into it more than anything else.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Frozen Empire, no,
Yeah,
you don't
just
need to watch it.
not. I'll not lie. The reason the notes came out so late is I was holding back on this one because I just did not feel any excitement for it. I don't know. There was something just itching at the back of my head going, this is not going to be anything thrilling.
Yeah, this is like I've watched Smile, like the first one, at least half a dozen times. This one, eh, if I
Nah.
watch it again, cool. If I don't, not a big deal. Like I again, I genuinely liked it, but it was okay. Should have been talking about Heretic. Fuck, that was a laugh riot. I know you don't like Hugh Grant. I don't blame you, but
I can't stand him. He's a dick.
uh, you really gotta
He's
slow
like taking, the first character he played for his first 20 years of his career,
down.
the sort of stuck up middle class, you know, English gent, and
Hmm.
now he's playing this sort of wannabe gangster. When he first popped up in The Gentleman, he's played that character now. This is his second character he's learned how to play, and it's just appearing in every movie.
This is definitely a change. Like we are seeing the rise of a new character.
Oh, is he figured out a third one?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, you say Mad Goth has no range. Like, fucking, I present you a Hugh Grant. Like, fucking hell.
Okay, he is at least one of those people that can be the same in every fucking role, and it's okay. I still have yet to figure out my issue with Mia Goth, other than the fact that I feel like she can't act. But like aside from like the surface level issue of that, like I haven't figured it out. What
Mm.
about her I don't like?
But you get that
But
sometimes people just rub you up the wrong way.
mhm,
There's no logical explanation, and you would have to really go deep. But obviously, you know that yourself. You encounter people in real life too, and they just
mhm,
rub you up the wrong way. And sometimes you'll rub somebody else up the wrong way, and you've no idea why. You've done nothing different, but that's just the way it is,
mhm.
and just got to accept it and go, well, that's a thing, and not obsess over it. And just be okay. Well, if she's in something, I'm not watching it. I'm cool with that. It's just life. That's
Mhm.
why. Guess what? There's not just one actor out there. And there's not just one film and not one. That's why the whole platitude, because
Yeah.
we all resonate with different people in different ways. Like, and I'm not defending Meg Off, by the way. Just being a bit silly, fuzzical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll have Sky, isn't it the character's name?
Yeah, something like that. I don't
Something like that.
remember.
It's one of them stupid names.
Yeah, it was
I
Sky.
didn't
Yeah,
even put her name down because I don't care. Like, she's a non-entity, the protagonist in this, but she's back in, surrounded, getting patted in the head and stuff or whatever. And we find out her mother's one of them kid beauty pageant mothers.
yeah. Yeah,
I've never
definitely.
watched the full show of that, by the way, but I've seen clips.
No, it's fucking
That's enough.
disgusting. Like, what sane person would watch that shit?
That's fucked up. Like, honestly,
Mhm,
just not even the fact people watching it, but the people that do it, like, would
mhm.
put their kids through that.
Yeah, man, it's just, like the idea of sexualizing your child because you're a failure in life is so fucking disgusting that I wish all those people would get rectal cancer. Like,
I'm not the good type, like the proper bits fall off.
mhm.
You can't hold
Yeah,
anything in.
yeah, man, it's
You
just
clench for the last 5 years of
disgusting.
your life, and you clench hard because it's all coming out and it's going to be pus ridden.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's.
absolutely think all of them deserve that shit.
I honestly think because you need a license for a dog. You need there's certain animals you need a license for,
Mhm.
but you don't for the have kids.
Yeah.
And I'm not draconian. I honestly think you should fucking pass tests. But then again, it's just making sure the people
I mean, yeah,
administering the tests.
there's also other people that thought that back in the day that rhymed with schmatz me, so let's not draw a
Yeah, that's what I
parallel
mean. The
there.
people administering the tests, like that's one of them who guards the guards sort of thing. Who watches the
Yeah.
watchman? Sort
Yeah,
of.
no, I agree. I feel like
But when you
every child, as soon as they hit a certain age where they can start producing some spunk, should get a vasectomy. And then you have to pass a test to get that shit reversed. I I really truly believe that, because
something
we need to fix society and this planet, and just shy of doing something like that, or mass extermination of the human race, I don't think we're going to be able to do much.
yeah, like, and people are just showing their arses every day,
Hmm.
and it just makes you more and more jaded and more nihilistic as time goes past.
Hmm.
And like I said at the start, patterns repeat. So what people are getting their knickers in a twist over today, the same people got their knickers in a twist over 20 years ago. It's the same
Right.
fucking attention-seeking behavior.
Yeah.
And I'm done with it. I'm just done with it. I'm done with the nonsense. I want to just get on with life. Enjoy
Right.
what I enjoy, talk about a few movies, and be reasonably productive in society. So I'm not a grifter. Is that
Right.
really too much?
I think it is. I think you are asking entirely too much. At least that's what it seems like.
Yeah. Press the red button now. I said that to somebody in work actually. If I wasn't an animal lover, I'd press the red buttons and wipe it all out. They're all like, "Oh, you can't mean that." Fucking try, mate.
See, my thing is, if I could do it in a manner that literally only killed the human race,
Planet of the
I
Apes style.
would. Yeah, pretty much. Like, just something that wipes out just humanity. I would, in a fucking heartbeat. And I understand that means killing my friends, my family, my loved ones. You know
Me,
what? That's fine.
yourselves. We no longer.
Like, I would absolutely do it. I love this planet that much that I would save it the only way that is possible. Yeah,
It's
I would. There'd be no hesitation at all.
yeah. And this is not. This is one of them movies that you don't feel good about the human race. Like you're on the
No.
creature side.
Yeah, there's literally no one in this movie that you care about. You
There's no
just kind of like,
protagonist.
yeah, it's. I mean, it. I will say the one positive is this movie definitely reminds you to hydrate.
Oh, Smell 2, sponsored by Voss Water.
Yeah, God
We need
damn it,
minimum 100 product placements. Minimum.
dude, that was a struggle. Even after
There's
she
20 minutes of the
explained it,
movie that could have went.
yeah, like there is nothing okay about watching her chug a bottle of water. It's just the most unappealing thing in the world. Like, I was like, yeah, I don't want to drink bottled water anymore. I mean, I don't, because I'm not a fucking wasteful individual, but still, it's like that bitch is going through bottles of water like a fucking mad person, because that's anytime that you're having a craving or something, just drink water.
Is that not what
It's like, who the fuck
no,
came up
no,
with
that's
that
what
shit?
people that was a thing with people with eating disorders.
Well, okay, that makes sense though for eating
Anorexics. I
disorders.
was sorry, I wasn't. I
Yeah.
was looking for the not that I was bulimics was going to my head, but that's the opposite of it's the anorexics. They would do
No,
that.
it's not the opposite. It's just
No, what I mean
anorexia.
is the opposite spectrum of
I mean,
that
it's
same.
still the same thing, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, but yeah, like that makes sense, because you are at least putting something in your body. You're
But you
expanding
can
your
get a
stomach. So,
form of pneumonia by overhydrating. It's actually possible.
oh, I believe it. I mean, yeah, you can drown, but
But if
yeah.
you're not taking nutrients on board, that's
Mhm.
that's what said. That's what anorexics would do. If they've got the hunger pangs, they would tell each other on the internet to do this,
Mhm.
and instead of eating, they would drink water, which would just go straight through them.
Mhm.
Uh, that's not good advice. That's actually they've not went to a doctor. They've not consulted with a doctor.
Well, I
They've
mean,
went to a web page. They've went to a fucking
to
Reddit
be
group or
fair,
something.
she's a celebrity, so I could see her going to some fucking new age, witch doctor type thing,
Mm,
like some holistic, smelly, patchouli, hairy armpit lady.
yeah, God.
But yeah, that was just, and I understand it wasn't meant to be. I mean,
Product
anything other than that,
placement.
it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely product placement. That's for damn sure. But like, I understand it was supposed to be unsettling, but it was uncomfortable, not unsettling. Like, this is, why am I listening to her chug a bottle of water? And why? Who the fuck chugs a bottle of water like that?
Yeah, it's demented.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah. And the fact that it's all the same in the fridge. Like, honestly, if somebody's drinking that much water, they would have installed their own water purifier filter thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Considering
a
the
lot
provinces living
cheaper.
in.
It cost me fucking $2 to fill up my 5-gallon jug of water at the store, and then I have
They missed the.
purified, cold, ice cold water at at the tap of a button.
Yeah. What's that thing that they all carry about now? That's like £100 or something.
Oh, like the Stanley cups.
That's the one.
Mm-hmm.
They could have got a product placement. That maybe they didn't get the product placement. They approached Stanley first.
I guess.
You picture her with her Stanley cup, boink, you know.
Right. It'd be like the whole fucking Valentine limited edition red version all over again. Yeah, I don't get it. I've got like a $5 insulated jug that works just as well, and guess what? It was $5 fucking.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, and you said the jump scares got you, but to me, because I already knew what the entity was and everything else, I was just going, "Oh yeah, we're doing this again. Oh yeah, we're doing this again."
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't new. It wasn't surprising. Which honestly, that was one thing I was kind of disappointed about. I really truly thought that the entity was going to be different for each person. And it wasn't.
Yeah, because we thought that, didn't we? That they saw, like, the first one was like in the image of her own mother,
Mhm.
and it twisted, and the entity would shapeshift for the psychosis, the deep dark fears. But no.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed about that. I mean, it still looked great, but yeah, it was kind of disappointing. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, even though I wasn't surprised by any of it, like you kind of, it was a paint by numbers of the sort. So it's like you kind of knew exactly what was going to happen and when it was going to happen. But it was still fun. It was one of those movies where it was very easy to go in and just turn my brain off and just go, moving pictures.
Mm.
And that's pretty much what this delivered on.
Yeah, I could see that. The problem is you're having to like review it and think about it. You have to actually take note of what's going on. You're
Yeah.
like, oh no. Like, I think it helped. I don't think it helps the fact that you've no empathy for anybody.
Definitely.
That's a big thing with me. You've no empathy, so you can't be on anybody's side.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah,
just
because
don't give a shit.
like it's one thing with like a slasher to not give a fuck, because that's literally all those people are there for, is they are cannon fodder. They are just a means to an end. So it's different going into something like that versus something like this, where with the first one, the horror of it all hinged on whether or not we liked the character and felt for the character. Like, I mean, just, the moment where she pulls the cat out of the fucking box, or the kid pulls the cat out of the box. Or was it a dog? I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched it, but like the birthday party scene, like that's
yes.
that's devastating, because she has legit been just like absolutely dying to know where the fucking animal is, and it hits. Any other time it'd be like, oh well, that was just like meant to fuck with us. But like that was a true moment of despair and shit. Whereas with this, it's like everything that happens to her, it's like, she kind of deserves that.
Yeah, and everybody else around her who gets caught in the crossfire, you don't give a shit. So
Yeah.
you're not feeling for anybody. The teleprompter scene,
That was pretty funny.
how close to the knuckle is that with real life? We have seen this when Hollywood celebrity A goes on stage, teleprompter doesn't work, and they just stand there confused because they can't fucking speak.
Yeah.
God, we said like we don't have a script for this shit. You know what I mean? We are on for hours at a time. Any YouTuber reviewer is on for hours without a fucking script. And how many times has somebody thrown something in the chat and we've just went on it, and even if we don't know 100%, we'll find out there and then, and we'll talk about something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not hard. And we're just mere mortals.
Right.
We aren't the exalted ranks of the Hollywood elite, But yeah, the whole thing with the teleprompter, the fact that it stopped and she could not miss a beat. She can go, oh, it stopped. She actually came to a standstill. And we've legit seen that. The funny ones are the singers that start fighting with the audience and their iPod still playing in the background with them singing.
Yeah.
And people still go to their concerts.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know who's
I
worse.
don't get that.
I don't know who's worse. They're like, I don't have to try hard to make loads of money, or the people that will pay to go and see them and support them once they've realised the cat's out of the bag.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back to the G4 TV debacle. The minute that silly bent let the cat out of the bag, they don't actually play any of the games they review. And she didn't
Yeah,
just
that
drop
was
herself in it, but she dropped the whole fucking team in it. And you just saw that moment of they went, you're not going to be saying that. And just that
yeah.
fun moment of, oh shit. And sure enough, that
That was definitely a corpse that did not need to be brought back. Like it should have just stayed dead.
yeah.
That was a travesty.
Yeah, but just that moment of, and they probably let the cat out of the bag for the previous entity as well. That's what they did, and the whole legacy media, why nobody gives a shit and nobody watches or believes them, is because they don't actually get involved with the properties. It'd be like us reviewing this movie with cliff notes from somebody else, and we never actually watched it.
Yeah, that would
Gee
be
golly, that
stupid
was
shit.
fun. That scene, or in the teleprompter.
Right. Well, it's so frustrating. Like, so I don't know if you've seen this yet, but there's a documentary out called Attack of the Doc, which essentially it's a documentary about the history of Attack of the Show, but also like G4 in its as a whole as well.
Hmm.
And it's so frustrating to watch that because like that was that was my generation. Like I watched G4. I was there the last fucking day. Like I watched them tear apart the set and shit. It was like I absolutely loved that channel. And then, to watch that, be reminded of just how big of an impact they had on pop culture, video games, all that shit. Like just everything good in life. They had such a big impact on that. And then to remember what they did to bring it back, it's like fuck you. It's like that's like digging up a corpse of someone's parent and being like, I'm gonna bring him
Put
back to life
put some
by
lipstick on it.
fucking them.
Yeah, put some
So then you're
lipstick
just
and
sitting there.
eyeshadow, bend them
Yeah,
over the table.
yeah. It's like then you're just watching somebody rape your parent's corpse. And it's like this isn't the same. I don't like this.
We were talking actually during the Freddy Krueger movie about the MTV generation and the impact that it had, and
Mm-hmm.
how much of a phenomenon that one channel had.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my generation, I suppose. Before it became whatever the hell it is now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a fickle crowd. It wasn't long lasting, but still, if MTV put its stamp on something, it became law, so to speak, or became this is pop culture.
Pretty much. Well,
But
it's like
that's all gone.
it made so many careers too. I mean,
Huh.
you got Bernard Rose, fucking Michael Bay, like pretty much any music video director from that era became like one of the greats as far
Mhm.
as like feature film directors and shit. Yeah, it was a big thing, and then it became what it is.
Yeah. That's what this feels like. It's almost this is talking about pop stars as if, as if it was the mid 80s as well.
Hmm.
Like this is the whole pop star thing of the 80s and that when they were actually still relevant.
Honestly, that's still a thing.
Is that still a thing?
It's still absolutely a thing. Like what was it? Was it last year before last? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I
I'm
think it was like
completely
2 years
checked out.
ago. But I went and saw. I took my sister to go see Billie Eilish. Basically, it was a concert at a
Is that
theater.
like a 12-year-old girl can't utter mumble two words together?
I mean, I don't like the music, but yeah, whatever. I listen to weird shit. But yeah, like watching the people there interact with the movie screen, it's like, oh, okay, so that's not just a make-believe thing. That's still an actual thing. Like, there's kids fucking standing in front of the screen that's clearly not live, screaming and crying, and it's like, I get that at a concert,
Hmm.
but this is a fucking movie. Like, what the fuck?
Is it just a mechanism for teenage hormones to be released?
I guess.
And it doesn't matter. Just
you
show
know.
them something shiny so they can scream and let it all out. Is that what it is? It's not actually. I don't know. I never got into it. You know what I mean? Grew up metalhead, so
Mhm.
don't care.
Yeah.
Never. I just realized, like, I think like 2000s or something. Like laterally, I give up. Like, not even interested in pop music. Like, if a radio station plays and it plays an old tune, I might remember it and even remember the artist
Mhm.
from pop music, just because of being familiar. But I could not tell you anybody today.
Oh,
Couldn't.
that's fair. I mean, that's called growing up, I'd
It's just
imagine.
not even remotely in my zeitgeist
Mhm.
to be interested. Even metal music and that, like new artists, I really don't. Just no interest.
I agree. It's rare that I find a new band that I like because it's all going such a weird direction now.
I
It's
just
like
see them
I
whiny children. Like you hear them speak, and they're just and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, somebody hit that fucker a slap, would you?
right.
Just what happened to let's have fun and enjoy life and squeeze every moment out of it because we're in a fucking short road, folks.
Mhm.
This whole and I want to sing about I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, you're no wonder fucking people are fucked up in the head if that's their inspiration.
Uh, yeah.
Yes, the world's shit. We all know it.
I mean, that's most of the shit I listen to. There's people screaming with heavily distorted guitars, and it's all about suicide and shit. So I get it.
Ah, dear. I don't know, man.
So back to the movie.
Yeah. Well, well, it is there. You know what I mean? Because this is exploring pop
That's
culture,
true.
pop stars, music, and the
Yeah,
fact
the
that
behind
she's
the scenes
screaming,
of it.
adoring fans and stuff. And there's no way you could like her if you tried. Like fucking hell.
Yeah, that is the one thing I keep going back to with this movie. It's like there's like not one point in this movie do I feel bad for, like at all. Like even when they do the flashback scene of her car accident, like the whole reason why she's addicted to pills, it's like I don't feel bad that she got in an accident
I'm
and her
just.
fucking boyfriend died.
I'm sorry that both one of them survived. Honestly, I'm surprised. I'm just sorry that it didn't go into a big
Mhm.
ball of flames.
Yeah, yeah, and it could just a little aside. That fucking guy, like I didn't realize that was Jack Nicholson's kid, but the first time I saw him, I was like, damn, that's like a fucking cartoon version of Jack
Technically,
Torrance from the fucking Shining.
yeah.
And yeah, no, there's a reason why it looks like the fucking cartoon version of him because it's his kid.
Oh dear. But even that was so contrived.
Hmm. Yeah,
Ah.
I
Do you remember what was that movie? Training Day
I don't
with
think I ever watched it.
Denzel Washington and what's his face out of Sinister, main character in Sinister.
Yep, I can't.
He's in the Black Phone as well.
Yeah.
You
God
know who I
damn it,
mean?
Ethan Hawke. Ethan
Ethan
Hawke.
Hawke, that's the one, right? Denzel Washington's basically, can I get this clip?
Mhm.
Like two whole scenes of him doing this.
Yeah, that's safe.
Um, in the middle of like town. And you're just
Yeah,
like,
I don't get that. It's like I talk a lot when I'm driving. I never turn to look at the fucking person unless I'm stopped.
uh yeah, you're just like, no. Really? You're going to crash? No shit.
Mhm.
Once
Yeah,
again, everything is so
that
fucking
well,
telegraphed. Every
it
scene is so telegraphed that you know it's coming 100 miles away.
mhm. Well, it sucked because there was so much buildup for it too, like, because they don't show it early on in the movie.
Yeah, this is
It's
her
something that
trauma.
they allude to, and then it finally happens, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly what you guys have been saying, like, we didn't actually need this at all
Mm,
because you've already told us what happened. There was no news with actually seeing the crash. And the thing is, we don't even actually see the crash. We just see, oh, here's a cliff. And then she comes to and there's blood and stuff. And it's like that wasn't exciting. That okay. I will say that was my biggest problem with this movie was the lack of actually seeing stuff. In the first movie, we saw everything.
mhm.
And with the ending of her fucking killing herself with a microphone, all we see is the audience reacting and the sounds. And the sounds weren't even that great.
No, it was
Like you would imagine there'd be so much more
cartoon sort of.
splooshing noises
Yeah,
and clearly like bones cracking, metal bending. Like it was quite disappointing.
yeah. She'd have better if she had a gun and just shot herself,
Mhm.
or instead of, you know what I mean, like the first one. Like, I'll go back to the first one. The impact of the first one of each scene and the reveals of it's her insanity. Like even the scene in the car where the phone rings with Gemma, the
Mhm.
exposition device. What purpose did that character solve or serve?
Mhm. Yeah, it was like they were trying to do the greatest hits of the first film, but just didn't work as well.
Because
Because yeah, like the scene in her house when the therapist comes over and she gets the phone call from her therapist and the therapist is looking at her. That was terrifying. That
yeah,
was legit scary. With this, it's just like, yeah, I kind of figured as much because that happened in the first one.
yeah,
So it wasn't scary.
no impact,
Mhm.
and you're just like, what they could have played a bit better with. Something that did well actually was seeing the time pass. So she didn't know. She thinks she's
Mhm.
going to bed at night. Next thing you know, it's the next morning,
Mhm.
and she's no idea what she's done. If they had to play with that a bit more, that would have been a different angle because they didn't
Mhm.
really play with that in the first one. So
Yeah,
her
no,
carrying through a
I was
complete
gonna say it only happened once in the first one, so I think that's probably why they only did it once in this one.
no, but the fact the driving scene as well, and then the reveal at the end. You know, they're showing that she's been carrying on her daily life, and she has no clue
Mhm.
what she's been or done or anything because it's all been the entity.
Mhm.
You know, that was an interesting angle they could have played with this, but they didn't do it. Didn't do it any sort of justice or enough.
Yeah.
So there was potential there for this to be a fresh take and a different person's experience. You know what I mean? Unhinged reality, losing reality or insanity, it's such a wide ranging thing that you can play with.
Mhm.
And you've got a demon that gets inside your head, like you've nowhere to go or hide. That's a terrifying concept.
Mhm.
And the door is wide open. So why does this movie feel so limited?
Yeah, that was the thing too. It's like it seemed like they were trying to have a bit of a bigger scope with it, but yeah, it was so restrained. Like they didn't take it to different places. Like the only thing I can really think where they did do different than the first one was the scene in her apartment where her dancers are coming after her. But even then, it's like once they got her, the worst she had was a fucking concussion.
Hmm,
Like they're just all like on top of her, and that was it. It was kind of uneventful. The buildup definitely was not paid off.
no. Like if they had a chased her that she slipped or something, it would have made more sense.
Mhm.
Because that was the whole idea. The entity isn't going to kill her. We know that.
Mhm.
That's the thing that which is lost in this movie because the first one we didn't know.
Mhm.
We had hints and then it sort of got explained a bit, but this one we absolutely know. If you've seen the first movie, you know what the game is.
Mhm.
So a lot of that stuff didn't make sense. I get tortured, but they actually cause her harm, physical harm, where it could go wrong. Like
Mhm.
one slip, you know yourself, one slip is all it takes to end you. a human body can fall out of a helicopter and survive, but you can trip on a curbstone and be gone. That's how random the universe is. So for an entity that has a long game, to survive isn't going to play that, isn't going to be that foolish.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, the whole interpretive dancing. Okay, fine. That's a thing. Mentions in the clinic, the wellness center.
Yeah. I mean, that was cool, at least until we found out that it wasn't real. And then that was quite disappointing. Because then it's like, how much of that actually happened versus not? Because there's multiple people.
Because her mother was in the audience at the end.
Yeah. Well, no, I get that, but it's like, did any semblance of that happen? Like, was she even in the hospital?
No, she wouldn't have been on stage. She'd have been locked up. Right, so she stole a gun. She waves it about. She steals a car, goes in a bender, flying about the place. There's no way she'd be on tour. Like, all the smart lawyers of the day, and she's already on her final thread. She's pissed off executives and charity, and you don't piss off charities. They're worse than the mob. In fact, I don't know if you remember Death to Smoochie.
Yeah,
I cannot. I always suspected, I always have my opinions on charities, but that movie just really hits home.
Yeah, I got it. It's so fucking good.
I'm Rainbow fucking Randolph. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, there's no way should any of that happened and her not be permanently in rehab or something. Like, even her mother said, you cancel this, you're going into rehab, and that's it, you're done. Which is right, I suppose. But there we go. And then she meets this guy. That whole side plot as well was painful.
Especially because there's no payoff. Like, it wasn't even real. Like, that guy did not exist.
No.
And that's almost like movie writing 101 is doing the whole, but it was just a dream in the end. It's bullshit, because then it's like, why did we watch that?
Yeah.
And that's the majority of this. Wasn't seeing her slip into psychosis. It was just kidding. That didn't actually happen. Like, literally from the beginning, like the whole Gemma thing. At the very end of the movie, she calls her and is like, yeah, I haven't talked to you in ages because you're a cunt. And it's like, you're fucking kidding me. The last 2 hours was just bullshit. And then we're not even going to get to see her actually kill herself? Fuck you.
Yeah. And then we'll go right back to the opening scene with her, the space thing. That's where she is. She's on stage. So somehow she's went through routines and stuff. What's hilarious as well, there's a rehearsal scene of a pop song, a fake pop song. It just sounds like a pop song.
I mean, that's because it was written, recorded, everything like
that. It's just so pop music is so
great.
Disposable. That's the, they could just make it up. I will just stick out the movie. I don't think you even need to give it to one of the artists. They'll do it for this. It's I mean, or we'll give it to one of the artists later on. Nobody will notice the difference.
Right? Yeah, it is pretty goddamn funny. Just how it's formulaic and easily mimicked.
Yeah, the dance moves and everything's like any pop movie or any pop video ever. It's just yeah, that whole thing in the refrigerator as well. The brick in the door. You're like, that's going to slip out. It's going to slip out. It's going to slip out. It slipped out. What a shock.
Well, especially the setup. Oh, you got to set this here because it doesn't open. Motherfucker, who the hell hasn't been in a walk-in fridge and doesn't understand? Don't let that shit close.
Button. That's why they installed the rubber button thing. Because that's people getting locked in.
He had to make a point of saying that it doesn't work.
Yeah, here dum-dums. Here it comes.
It's like it is abandoned fucking restaurant. Of course it doesn't work. And one thing I'll say, because that was supposed to be like a Pizza Hut or something.
Yeah.
I used to work at Pizza Hut.
Their fridges
There
aren't that
is
big.
no Pizza Hut in the world that has a fucking walk-in freezer that goddamn big. Period. That's bigger than the last Pizza Hut that I worked at combined, like the entire
Yeah.
building.
Fuck right off. Even working for a supermarket chain, like a walk-in freezer,
Mhm.
that was there was one maybe that big, but it was shared by 3 different departments. You didn't get, you know what I mean? It was like entire departments had a corner.
Mhm.
That was it. You know, another thing you didn't move in. It wasn't that. Just silly. But look, you know the whole thing of show, don't tell?
Mhm.
Instead of telling us the door was broken, the brick slips out, she goes to try it and realizes it's all busted up, like half a second.
Mhm. Yeah,
But it
didn't
didn't
need it.
matter because it wasn't real, so
Yeah. And that was the thing too. It's like the entity kept attacking her, like actually having an altercation, and then nothing happened. It's like there's yeah, it's just so frustrating. Like thinking about it after the fact, none of it made sense at
no.
all. Like none of it went with the original mythology of the entity, and it's just like it's there's no consequences in this fucking movie.
Even Jeepers Creepers made an attempt to find out what the creeper was and how to fight against it. And that's what you expect from a sequel, of find
Mhm.
out a bit more about the origins of this thing and how to combat it.
Well, I feel like they avoided that because it was done so well in the first film. I mean, of course, the random guy, oh, we need to kill you, and then I'll bring you back because I'm a nurse. Like they kind of loosely did it, but it's like he wasn't even real.
Yeah, so the
Like at no point was he real.
and was the entity going to tell her how to destroy itself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just so goddamn dumb.
Yeah. It's like the mustache twirling villain going, here's my devilish plan. Mwahaha. Here's the flaw in it so you can beat me. No?
Yeah, that was exactly it. Especially because she takes the shit, she sticks herself with it, and then she's like, "You think I'd let you do it this way? No, come on." I was like, "Man, that's stupid."
Yeah. But there you go. That was a thing. That was a
Mhm.
movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it. I'd probably watch it again. Like it did have some semblance of merit to it. Like the little bit of gore that was in it was pretty good.
Even the
I will
CGI
say
blood was sort of over released, I think, with a bit of practical.
that. Mhm.
Didn't look horrible.
Well, that's the thing. Like this was a very good marriage of practical and digital. Because like even the entity, I'm
Apart from Lewis's
pretty
death, because that
damn
was
sure it was.
ridiculous.
What's that?
Apart from Lewis's death, because that was daft.
I was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah,
I giggled.
yeah. But I don't think you're meant to giggle. You're meant to go, oh,
Yeah, there was none of that.
yeah.
Definitely.
Just going, why? Why are you doing this?
Mhm.
You even have the template of the first movie to show you why it works so well. What he did.
Mhm.
Ah, dear.
So yeah, we'll see what the sequel's like since there was hundreds and hundreds of people in that audience that witnessed her kill herself.
Is it going to multiply?
I have a feeling it's going to be like Rings, and
Smile
that's
on a
not
plane.
that's oh my god, I would watch that in a fucking heartbeat.
I am sick and tired of these motherfucking smiles on this motherfucking plane.
Dude, I would be probably the only motherfucker in that theater, but I would be first one in, opening day, first showing, just
But
dick in
there's
hand, ready to beat it raw because I'd be laughing so hard.
Yeah, but there's a movie as well that's stupid as hell, but it knew what it was doing,
Mhm.
and it was in the joke.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally, like "I'm sick of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane" was a line developed by the fucking I don't remember what the boards were at the time, but like basically that was a fan right.
Yeah,
Like people were like, "That should be in this movie," and they were like, "Fuck yeah, it should be."
yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. This isn't a snobby channel of ew, this isn't high art. It's if you're going to write a comedy, write a comedy.
Mhm.
and if you're making a joke, be in on the joke. It's films that take themselves so seriously, but they fall so short, and they try to be one thing and they unintentionally become the other.
Yeah.
We should not have been laughing in this movie.
No, that was definitely not the
We
intent.
didn't laugh in the first one. You know what I mean? In the first one, we're on board.
No, I laughed quite a bit in the first one, but I mean, it's still on board.
But like I said, there's certain, like the head dropping, in the trailer made me laugh. But like I said, once I put it in context, you're like, okay, that works.
Mhm.
You know, it did enough to have you going, oh shit, this is a serious movie trying to tell a horror story.
Mhm.
This, none of it.
Yeah, this was just 2 hours of this is all just a dream.
Oh, there you go. That was fun. Yay for the next. I just feel like it should be like an apology segment where I just keep. This movie's coming out. Oh shit! Sorry, mate.
No, see, here's the thing. This one, I was planning on seeing it.
Mhm.
So, like, this was going to happen whether we recorded on it or not. I don't regret going. I did enjoy myself, but yeah, it was definitely not the first one. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's not too bad then. I'm starting to feel a bit guilty.
No, fuck no. No, this was my fault.
Let's just
Like I said, I'd have seen this whether we were recording or not.
Yeah. There's been some good movies out this year, but it's not been a great year.
No.
And especially Halloween. Halloween was really dry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the only thing had was like Terrifier 3.
Which I think would have been better if we released it actually at Christmas.
Well, it was supposed to be. It was a fucking Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, that clearly they fucking didn't make a mistake, considering it was the highest grossing film of the year.
Beating the other Clyde movie by fucking.
Yeah. Well, not only that, like beating out like something like that.
Stupid amount. It's made $1 billion. Stupid amount of profit.
Well, it's a fucking record because it's the like biggest, like most well received unrated movie of all time. So it's pure magic.
Just working them, Damien. Just working them editing skills. You're nearly there, mate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was much better than the second one. That's for sure.
Just you're going the right path. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go. That's it. We've kind of done all the big stuff on the channel. We'll need to start thinking of new one because the Freddy chat was like the last big stream of having loads of people on. We need to come up with something else. But the New Year's looking interesting. We've got a few things coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this week's the last week of the submissions for the anthology. So if you're thinking about it, get involved. 1st of December, then we'll be looking at that. With another wee thing in the pipeline that you might have a laugh at, enjoy.
Oh man, it's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, it's starting to shape up quite nicely, but we'll keep it under our wraps. And yeah, a few more things down the pipeline. We just need to finalize and get planned up, but we're not going anywhere. And
nope, only getting bigger.
Only getting bigger and moving forward. That's the only direction. So there you go. Until next time, folks, keep up to date with the channel, do the type of things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.